Hi everyone, welcome to this week's YouTube video. So this video is all about running and all the questions I get asked, especially the ones that you guys have asked me in the question box that I posted on my stories this last week. So I actually went on a long run this morning, and then with that I answered a lot of your questions on the run, and then also some of your nutritional tips and tricks last night and this morning. So before I get into all those questions, I'm just going to give you a bit of an update on how I started running, where I am at the moment, and what my goals are for this year. So I wasn't really a runner at school. You would barely ever see me run. I did swimming and played team sports and things like that. I actually just started running at university. It was just the cheapest, easiest way to make sure that I don't get first year syndrome. But yeah, so I casually started running. It's actually only in the past 3-4 years that I started putting a little bit more structure to my running, and from there on started entering races and started working towards goal times. So up until now I've run a few half marathons and I've done 3 full Cape Town marathons, and in between I just do all the races that I can fit into my schedule. And with that I found a very big passion for running, and just, I wouldn't say competitively running, but having structure and improvement throughout my year. So currently this year I will be focusing on half marathons. I won't be doing anything beyond a full marathon. I'll always do the Cape Town Marathon in October, but not heading into the ultras yet. So I'll be doing half marathons, and then with that working on my pace and speed and trying to hit a certain goal time throughout this year. But yeah, so that's what I have at the moment. I've got a couple of races coming this year, and the first one being the 2 Oceans in about 2-3 weeks time. And bearing that in mind, I'm going to answer some of the running and training questions that you guys have asked me in my question box over the past week. Okay, so I'm going on a long run tomorrow morning. I'm aiming for 23 kilometers. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to take you along with me. So just before I go on into the nutritional part, I do want to mention that I'm not a dietitian, and what I'm sharing is what I do and what I've been doing through trial and error over the past few years. So give it a go. Hopefully it works for you, but bear in mind that everyone's bodies are different, everyone's goals are different, and training is different. So just take some time, figure out what works for your body. You really won't be sorry. Okay, so I'm making dinner tonight. Yeah, keeping it really simple. I've just found that having a higher carb meal the night before either a long run or a race really fuels me and gives me a lot of energy for the day off, but it also doesn't make me feel too heavy. I do keep it really, really simple. So I'll have a bigger carb base. So tonight I'm having pasta, and then with that really uncomplicated toppings. So tonight I'm having like lean bacon, mushrooms, a little bit of tomato, and this like roasted pepper sauce. Nothing too creamy or cheesy or rich. I've just found that doesn't work for my body. So with this, I always feel really fueled. I don't feel too full on the day of a race or a long run, and I feel really, really energized. So yeah, I would totally recommend doing something high carb. Remember, you need to eat carbs to have energy, quick releasing energy, specifically to make sure that you power through that run and to really have a great race. Okay, so touching on nutrition in those 2-3 months before a race where I really increase the intensity of my training, I want to make sure that I am fueled for every single session, that I get all the value that I possibly could get out of a session because I'm energized and because I've recovered properly from the previous session. So first of all, I always make sure that I'm not in a calorie deficit in this timeline. I want to be fueled and strong, so I'm either on calorie maintenance, or I even go into a little bit of a surplus to make sure that I've got a lack of energy. And then basically just having very balanced, macro balanced meals. I'll have a good source of carbs in there, pasta or rice or quinoa or something like that. I always have toast with my eggs in the morning. Very important to have a good amount of protein in your diet. You want to make sure that you are recovering your muscles and that you don't get fatigued. Healthy fats are really important to make sure that you've got that longer form of energy. And girls, it is just important to get your fats into your diet for hormones and everything. And then fourth, making sure that you are hydrated. So not only making sure that you drink a lot of water, but also adding electrolytes back into your body. Remember, you are sweating a lot, you are taking minerals out of your body. You want to make sure that you put those back into your body. So adding an electrolyte mix into my day-to-day diet has really been a game changer for me. And then going into taper week, the week before a race, I want to make sure that I've got a good amount of stored energy, that I'm energized on the race, and then also that my body is properly recovered and hydrated. So even though I'm training less and I'm taking it a lot slower, I don't eat any less. I make sure that I'm still eating a lot of carbs, well, not a lot, just a good amount of carbs. I'm getting my protein in, making sure that my muscles are recovered, and very important to get hydrated. So it's not necessarily the best thing to just chug 3 liters of water the night before a race. I need to, over that week, make sure that I gradually increase my water intake, and then also make sure that I get enough electrolytes into my body to make sure that I'm hydrated on race day. This is not something to be overlooked, and something that can really make a big difference in your race. Okay, so I will see you guys tomorrow morning, where I will be going on my long run, and I will answer some of the questions on the way. I'll see you then. Good morning. So I'm getting ready for my long run this morning, just having a quick breakfast. So this is something that I have all the time before a long run and definitely before a race. Something very easy and simple. It's white bread toast, some peanut butter, jam and a banana, and I love coffee before a run. So this is something really simple, and I've been testing over the past few years. It gives me energy, like really quick source of energy, doesn't make me feel too full, so I don't get a stitch while I run. It just works really well for me. So along with that, I sip on an electrolyte drink throughout the morning. But yeah, I'll have this like an hour or 2 hours before a long run, making sure that I don't feel too full and I'm energized for that run. Okay, so along with fueling before a run or a race, it's really important to keep your energy levels up during the run as well, making sure that you don't get depleted, making sure you've got a really good run. So I enjoy taking a gel, something like this. These are from Power Bar, but I highly recommend that you try different brands to see what really works for your body. So it's like a carb mixed with some caffeine and sodium. Good rule of thumb is that they last for about 45 minutes and it takes about 15 minutes for it to kick in. So I normally just take the time that I think I'm going to run, divide it by 45 to see how many gels I should carry with me, and really to make sure that I don't go all the way into my energy reserves before I take one of these. Rather get ahead of it to make sure that I am fueled and have the energy to have the best run. So if you want to get into running, or you've taken a bit of a break and you want to get back into running, my absolute top tip is to take a month to build a base with absolute no expectations. Before you start thinking about different sessions, speed sessions, long runs, anything like that, it's really important to build a strong base from which you can work. So take a month, 3-4 times a week, set aside 30 minutes just to get outside the door and just run at your comfortable pace. There's nothing wrong with taking a bit of a walk in between to catch your breath. Take a month to build your base fitness, and from there on you can start looking at increasing either your distance or increasing your speed throughout the week. So that's my top tip. From there on, you can start building on running a race. So basically, short and sweet, how to build on increasing your pace. So obviously, when you start out running, your pace is going to be a lot slower than when you are actually fit. But there are certain things that you can include in your training program that will help with pace. So first of all is to add speed work. So this will either be sprints, just to get that explosive power in there. Tempo runs, which means that you're running a longer distance at a higher threshold, like at a higher heart rate. And the other thing is to strength train. How stronger your legs are, or the stronger your legs are, the more it will be able to power you forward, and that will also increase your pace. Be patient with it, it comes over time, but the harder you work on it, the more fit you are, obviously, the more your pace will increase. So I'm just about 16.5 kilometers into my long run for today. I'm aiming for 23 kilometers. And I'm just going to answer your question about how I stay motivated. So first of all, I absolutely love working towards a goal. So I always have a race that I've entered, always have a specific pace or like finishing time in mind. I just get an incredible sense of achievement working towards a goal that outside of my career, outside of relationships or anything like that. So something really goal driven absolutely keeps me motivated. Second of all, I actually think back to a time where I wasn't fit, where I wasn't feeling healthy, where I wasn't strong, and I just know that I never ever want to feel like that again. So that definitely gives me a bit of a kick when I need it. And then thirdly, moving away from motivation but rather into discipline and habit. So that's actually where your consistency comes in, is with your discipline. So there are so many days where you're a little bit tired, or it's early and it's rainy and cold outside, or you're really not in the mood for a speed workout, or you'd rather want to go to a jog with your friends than going on a long run. But this is where your discipline comes in, this is where your habit comes in, and this is definitely where change comes in. Long run done, 23 kilometers, so I ran half marathon this morning. Just by the way, it isn't necessary to run the actual distance of your race in training. So if you're doing a half marathon and you haven't yet run close to 20 kilometers, don't stress about it. Just get to like as far a distance you can. 15, 17 kilometers is 100% fine. Then let me tell you what you can expect from your first half marathon. My legs. First of all, I can just warn you that you're going to be hooked for the rest of your life. It's the absolute best feeling in the world to train for something, and then when you finally get to that day, all these people coming together, all of them have put in the hours, have put in the time, have put in the effort to get to that finish line. All of them have a goal that they are running towards. It's just incredible. It's like this the biggest sense of camaraderie that you'll ever experience. So you're gonna absolutely love it. The vibe is incredible. It's just so much fun. Then secondly, never trust the first 2 kilometers. For some reason, like the adrenaline and everything, you think like you're gonna die for the first 2 kilometers. Don't stress about it at all. Your body will warm up. Remember, you've been standing still for quite a while, waiting for your batch to start. So take your time, get into your rhythm, warm up. First 2 kilometers is going to feel the worst. From there on, you're going to get into your rhythm and you're just going to fly the rest of the way. The other thing is, don't try new foods and drinks and everything on the way. What I can recommend, if you're feeling a bit of an energy dip and you see that there is Coke, have some Coke, full fat, not Coke Zero. Have some Coke. It will really help with your energy. But once you've had Coke, keep drinking Coke with every aid station that you do get, or every water station that you do get. Don't have one at 10 kilometers and then never again your energy will dip. If this is your first half marathon, your first 10k race, enjoy it. Just give it your everything. You're going to love it. It's the most fun you will ever have. And please let us know how it went. We'd love to see how you guys went with your race. So yeah, good luck. Okay, so we're back at the office and we're just going to jump into the last couple of questions that I received, more specifically about the way that I train, and then some tips and tricks that I can give you regarding training for a race. So here we go. Cool. So question number 1 is, do I have a running coach or a coach in general? I don't. I actually really enjoy setting out my own program, although I do believe that I would really benefit from getting a coach, so maybe I should look into that. The only day that I do get coached is on a Tuesday, which is I join the ATC track session at Greenpoint Stadium, and that is someone else just telling me what I need to do, and I'm just running at my fastest. So yeah, at the moment I am scheduling my own program. And then my weekly breakdown. So I wouldn't say like I have a very set schedule, but there are certain non-negotiables and things that I do incorporate throughout the week. So first of all, my 3 non-negotiable sessions are my 3 running sessions. So the one is a sprint session or an interval session. So this would be either all the way from 300 meters to like 1,600 meters, working on speed, working on endurance at a high heart rate and everything. So that's something that I do at the track with coaching. The second would be a tempo run, which is a session where I run a medium length of distance, say between 8 and 12 kilometers, and I run that at threshold. So I really give it my all. I run at a fast pace, but it is a longer distance. And then my third session in a week would be a long run. So this is where I really spend time on my legs, but I do decrease my pace. So those are my 3 sessions. Then I will definitely do a long cycle on the weekends. I just really enjoy that, and it's a very good way to cross train and get fitter. I'll do 2 gym sessions, an upper body and a lower body session, and then I also incorporate Pilates twice a week. So this basically fills up my entire week, and I do definitely take a rest day, but instead of having a set rest day every single week, I do just listen to my body and take the day whenever I need it, and then I just essentially miss that session. The only session that I would move around is if I miss a running session for a race day. So how I prep for a marathon or half marathon or any longer endurance race, I would backtrack a little bit. So I'm consistently fit throughout the year, but it's really important not to train at your highest intensity throughout the whole year. If you do this, your body just literally cannot sustain it, and you need times throughout the whole year where you've got lower load sections basically. So if you've got a race, say for example in April, about 2-3 months before that, your higher intensity focus training for that specific race will actually start. Within that period, you've also got deload weeks where you've got, say for example, 2-3 weeks where you are increasing pace, increasing distance, working really hard, and then you've got a week in which your body just recovers a little bit more, making the next few weeks and the next few sessions really, really valuable and really beneficial. So you've got your say for example 3 months before a race, and then throughout the year I will sometimes decrease my running a little bit, focus more on strength training, or decrease my running a little bit, focusing more on cycling, say for example before the Cape Town cycle tour. But basically making sure that you've got ebbs and flows throughout the whole year where you've got high intensity training sessions or blocks, and then also making sure that you focus on other types of training or more on recovery to make sure that you don't fatigue your body and you don't get injured. Okay, so one girl asked me why I always run on flat surfaces. I don't really. It's just for tempo work and sprint sessions, you will definitely rather focus on your pace than on, say for example, heels. So with that, incorporating heel training into your workout is really beneficial as well. First of all, it can make you stronger, it will make you fitter, it'll make you a more efficient runner as you power up those heels. And then the other thing is that you know exactly what to expect on race day, and not get caught off guard because you were just running on the prom every single day. When to start tapering. So obviously you will need to rest your legs and make sure that you are recovered for your race. So normally you take taper the week before. So your last intense session would be about a week and a bit before your race. From there on, you will definitely keep moving, but you will do that at a lower pace, a lower intensity, making sure that you are nice and recovered. You can cross train and everything, but don't do something that you've never done before. I made that mistake during my first marathon. I thought I'm going to be tapering running wise. Meanwhile, I did some gym class or something and I ended up being really, really stiff on race day. So that's a week in which you are just recovering, you're taking it slow, you're feeling your body, you're recovering properly and making sure that you are rested and ready for race day. So that's all the questions. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. I really love sharing all the tips and tricks that I've learned over the past couple of years with you. If you have any more questions, drop it in the comments below. I'll definitely answer them. You're always welcome to DM me as well. And then like, subscribe, all those nice things. And stay tuned for a YouTube video on the actual race of the Two Oceans. So I will document it all the way and let you guys know how I went on race day. So stay tuned. Race number or pace number, pace time, pace number. Okay. Been asking me for the past even though you're gonna have a lot of bloopers for this video. Flip it.